with the photographer Stephen Leacock. I want my photograph taken, I said. The photographer looked at me without enthusiasm, like indifference. Like Oily said, it doesn't matter who comes in party, I'm a Red supporter. So without enthusiasm. He was he was a drooping man in a grey suit. Drooping means bending in front. Kujo. He was a bending man in a grey suit, wearing a grey colored suit with the dim eye of a natural scientist. So he looked like a natural scientist. Natural scientist means a scientist who studies nature, the phenomena or laws of nature. So এত কিছু লিখতে হবে না, meaning আছে workbook. So with the drooping eyes of a natural scientist. But there is no need to describe him. Everybody knows what a photographer is like. Everybody knows the typical shape and structure and appearance of a photographer. Sit there, he said, and wait. I waited an hour. I read the Ladies' Companion for 1912, the Girls' Magazines for 1902, underline the names of the magazines and the dates also. Ladies' Companion for 1912, the Girls' Magazine for 1902, and the Infants' Journal for 1888. I began to see that I had done an unwarrantable thing. Unwarrantable means unacceptable. I began to see that I had done an unacceptable thing in breaking in on the privacy of this man's scientific pursuits with a face like mine. So the narrator feels guilty. Why does he feel guilty? Because he has gone to the studio thinking of having a photograph of his own, but he seemed to disturb the privacy of this man's who is more of a scientist busy in his scientific pursuits rather than being a professional photographer. After an hour, the photographer opened the inner door. Come in, he said. After an hour, just see. If nowadays we go to a photographer studio and wait for an hour, within 1 minute we will come back. 59 minutes will be there remaining. So he was waiting for an hour, and then the photographer opened the inner door of the studio. দেখেছো নিশ্চয়ই দুটো ডোর থাকে, একটা ছোট স্টুডিও রুমের ভেতর থাকে, সেই দরজাটা খুলে দিল. Come in, he said severely, little strictly, no politeness. Severely, strictly, rudely, harshly, he said, come in. I went into the studio. Sit down, said the photographer. I sat down in a beam of sunlight filtered through a sheet of factory cotton hung against a frosted skylight. Frosted skylight backgrounded against একটা সানলাইট, মানে ওটা যেমন হয় স্টুডিওতে, that description has been given. The photographer rolled a machine into the middle of the room and crawled into it from behind. He was only in it a second. একটা মেশিনে কি করলো, একটা রুমের মিডিলে একটা মেশিন ছিল, সেই মেশিনটাকে রোল করে নিয়ে এলো রুমের মিডিলে, অ্যান্ড ক্রলড ইনটু ইট ফ্রম বিহাইন্ড, পেছন থেকে মেশিনটাতে ক্রল করলো. তারপর মেশিনটাতে কতক্ষণ ছিল? জাস্ট 1 সেকেন্ডের জন্য ছিল. জাস্ট টাইম এনাফ ফর ওয়ান লুক অ্যাট মি, কতক্ষণ জাস্ট একবার আমার দিকে দেখলো ওই মেশিন দিয়ে, অ্যান্ড দেন হি ওয়াজ আউট অ্যাগেন ফ্রম দ্য মেশিন, টিয়ারিং অ্যাট দ্য কটন শিট অ্যান্ড দ্য উইন্ডো পেন্স উইথ আ হুকড স্টিক, অ্যাপারেন্টলি ফ্র্যান্টিক ফর লাইট অ্যান্ড এয়ার. তো যে কটন শিট অ্যান্ড উইন্ডো পেন্সগুলো ছিল সেগুলোকে টিয়ার করছিল, ছিঁড়ছিল উইথ আ হুকড স্টিক, একটা ব্যাঁকা লাঠি দিয়ে. Apparently, he was frantic, crazy to have more light and air into the room. That is why he was just poking those. Then he crawled back into the machine again and drew a little black cloth over himself. এবার আবার ওই মেশিনটাতে crawl back করে একটা little black cloth নিজের ওপর দিয়ে দিল. This time he was very quiet in there. I knew that he was praying and I kept still. When the photographer came out at last, he looked very grave and shook his head. So ultimately when the photographer came out at last, he looked very serious and shook his head. The face is quite wrong, he said. কি আপনার মুখটা ঠিক নেই. I know, I answered quietly. আমি শান্তভাবে উত্তর দিলাম, হ্যাঁ জানি তো. I have always known it. আমি সবসময়ই জানি. He sighed. তিনি একটা খুব দীর্ঘশ্বাস ফেললেন, যেন having a wrong face meant a very bad thing for him. He means the photographer. I think, he said, the face would be better 3/4 full. আপনার মুখটা যদি 3/4 মানে আরেকটু যদি ভরাট হতো, ফুল হতো, তাহলে কিন্তু মুখটা ঠিকঠাক হতো. I am sure it would, I said enthusiastically, for I was glad to find that the man had such a human side to him. So would yours. In fact, I continued. How many faces one sees that are apparently hard, narrow, limited, but the minute you get them 3/4 full, they get wide, large, almost boundless in. So the narrator said, yes, there are so many faces with faults. You just do a little bit of this and that, and the face becomes perfect. There are thousands of faces like that. So what can I do? But the photographer had ceased to listen. The photographer had stopped listening. He came over and took my head. So which characteristic of the photographer is evident here? Not interested in the customer. He just expressed his own opinion. When the customer was talking, when the narrator was talking, he stopped listening to him. So these kind of men are very one-sided. They only talk but do not listen to you. So photographer had stopped to listen. He came over and took my head in his hands and twisted it sideways. So after coming over, he took my head in his hands and twisted my head sideways. I thought he meant to kiss me, and I closed my eyes. But I was wrong. He twisted my face as far as it would go and then stood looking at it. So he twisted, instead of kissing the narrator, the photographer twisted his face as far as it would go and then stood looking at it. He sighed again. Again he left a long sigh. That the face was not good. I don't like the head, he said. Now he doesn't like the head. Then he went back to the machine and took another look. Open the mouth a little, he said. I started to do so. Close it, he added quickly. Then he looked again. The ears are bad, he said. Head is bad, ears are bad, face is wrong. And he has come to take a photograph only. He said, droop them a little more. একটু কানগুলোকে ড্রুপ করুন তো, নিচের দিকে ঝোঁকান, বেন্ড করুন. Thank you. Now the eyes. আচ্ছা এবার আপনার চোখ. Roll them in under the lids. চোখের পিউপিলগুলোকে রোল করুন লিডের তলায়. Roll your pupils. Pupils মানে eyeballs under the lids. Put the hands on the knees, please, and turn the face just a little upward. Yes, that's better. Now just expand the lungs. So, and hump the neck. Hump means lift or haul. Lift, L-I-F-T. Lift the neck. ঘাড়টাকে একটু তুলুন, লিফট. দ্যাটস ইট. অ্যান্ড জাস্ট কন্ট্রাক্ট দ্য ওয়েস্টটাকে একটু ভেতরে নিয়ে নিন, শ্বাস, মানে সো দ্যাট দ্য পট বেলি ক্যানট বি সিন. কন্ট্রাক্ট দ্য ওয়েস্ট, হা, অ্যান্ড টুইস্ট দ্য হিপ আপ টুয়ার্ড দি এলবো. হিপটাকে একটু এলবোর দিকে টুইস্ট করুন, একটু ঘুরে দাঁড়ান. নাও আই স্টিল ডোন্ট কোয়াইট লাইক দ্য ফেস. না সবই ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু আপনার ফেসটা ঠিক নেই. আই ডোন্ট লাইক ইট. ইটস জাস্ট আ ট্রাইফল টু ফুল, বাট একটু যেন বেশি আপনার ফেসটা ফুল. বাট I swung myself on the stool. Stop, I said with emotion, but I think with dignity. This face is my face. Now the narrator is angry. He said, stop, I said with emotion, but still with dignity. This face is my face. It is not yours. It is mine. I have lived with it for 40 years, underline the age of the narrator, 40 years, and I know its faults. I know it's out of drawing. I know out of drawing means out of shape. I know it wasn't made for me, but it's my face, the only one I have. I was conscious of a break in my voice, but I went on. The break was due to excitement. Such as it is, I have learned to love it, and this is my mouth, not yours. These ears are mine, and if your machine is too narrow, here I started to rise from the seat. Means he was ready to go out without having the photograph. Snick, wait. Acha, snake means there is a sound of the pulling of the string of the machine. The photographer had pulled a string. That is snake. The photograph taken, I could see the machine still staggering from the shock. Snake is an example of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. সে কি? তুমি তো জানবে। আরে onomatopoeia মানে জানো তো? হ্যাঁ. Thus, word represents the sound which is made. The door closed with a bang, bang, snake, thud. These are examples of onomatopoeia. তুমি ঠিক আছো তো? শরীর বেশি খারাপ লাগছে? তাই মনে হচ্ছে ও onomatopoeia পুরো ভুলে গেছে. জ্বর এসছে? ওষুধ খেয়েছো? কি হোমিওপ্যাথি? হ্যাঁ আজকে স্কুলটা না গেলেই পার। স্কুলে স্কুলে এসি লাগিয়ে দিয়েছে? না ল্যাবে না রুমে? পুরো স্কুল এসি হয়ে গেছে? কবে হলো? অগস্ট তো এসি ছিল না? হ্যাঁ আজকের ওয়েদারে তো এসি চালানোর মতো ওয়েদার ছিল না। বলোনি ম্যামদেরকে? The photographer had pulled a string. The photograph taken, I could see the machine still staggering from the shock. Staggering means shaking. The machine was still shaking from the shock of the pull. SHAKING, shaking. I think, said the photographer, pursing his lips in a pleased smile. Pleased smile means happy smile. ঠোঁটটা খুব হ্যাপি স্মাইলে মুছতে মুছতে that I caught the features just in a moment of animation. So he said that he caught the features of the face of the narrator just in a moment of excitement. Animation means excitement. So I said bitingly, features, you didn't think I could animate them, I suppose, but let me see the picture. Oh, there's nothing to see yet, he said. I have to develop the negative first. First to amake negative ta develop korte hobe. Come back on Saturday and I will let you see a proof of it. Which day was he called? Underline it, important for MCQ, Saturday. Come back on Saturday and I will let you see a proof of it. On Saturday I went back. The photographer beckoned means called me in. I thought he seemed quieter and graver than before. I think too there was a certain pride in his manner. He unfolded the proof of a large photograph and we both looked at it in silence. Is it me? I asked. Whose photograph are you showing? Is it me? The narrator asked. Yes, he said quietly, it is you. And we went on looking at it. The eyes, I said hesitatingly, I don't look very much like mine. Whose eyes are these? These are not my eyes. Oh no, he answered, I have retouched them. I have retouched them. Retouch means done some karikuri on them. They come out splendidly, don't they? Fine, I said, but surely my eyebrows are not like that. No, said the photographer with a momentary glance at my face, with a momentary look at my face. The eyebrows are removed. We have a process now, the Delphied, underline, Delphied for the eyebrows. The process Delphied is applicable for the eyebrows, for putting in new ones. So you remove the old eyebrows and put in new eyebrows in the photograph through the process Delphied. You will notice here where we have applied it to carry the hair away from the brow. I don't like the hair low on the skull. Oh, you don't you? I said. Oh, acha, আপনার পছন্দ নয়, তাই তো? No, he went on. I don't care for it. I like to get the hair clear back to the superficies and make out a new brow line. So he likes to get the hair clear back to the superficies. Superficies means originally surface, here it means face. Superficies means super surface, comma, here face. Get the hair clear back to the superficies and make out a new brow line. What about the mouth? I said with a bitterness that was lost on the photographer. Is that mine? With a bitterness that was lost on the photographer means the narrator spoke with a bitter accent, means he did not like it because the photographer has changed all his facial features in the photo. But the photographer did not understand the bitterness of the narrator. Is that mine? It's adjusted a little, he said. Yours is too low. Your mouth is very low. I found I couldn't use it. The ears, though, I said, strike me as a good likeness. They are just like mine. Okay, the ears are very much like mine. Mane, there is nothing of his now. If there is anything is close, that is like him, but not exactly his. Yes, said the photographer thoughtfully. That's so. But I can fix that all right in the print. We have a process now. হ্যাঁ ইয়ারটা আপনার মতোই হয়ে গেছে না? ঠিক আছে, ওটা আমরা প্রিন্টে করে দেবো, প্রসেস করে দেবো. We have a process now, the sulfide, underline sulfide for the ears, for removing the ears entirely. আপনার পুরো ইয়ারটাকেই আমরা রিমুভ করে দেবো. I will see if দিয়ে তার জায়গায় নতুন ইয়ার দেবে. Listen, I interrupted, drawing myself up and animating my features to their full extent and speaking with a withering scorn. Withering means disapproving. Withering here means disapproving. And scorn means disregard or disrespect. Withering means disapproving, and scorn means disregard and or disrespect. With a withering scorn that should have blasted the man on the spot. Listen, I came here for a photograph, a picture, something which, mad though it seems, would have looked like me. I wanted something that would depict my face as heaven gave it to me. Humble though the gift may have been. So I came here to have my photograph as God has given my face. Maybe it's very ordinary. Humble means ordinary. Ordinary though the gift may have been, but I wanted the photo as an exact replica of myself. I wanted something that my friends might keep after my death to reconcile them to my loss. It seems that I was mistaken. What I wanted is no longer. Done. Go on then with your brutal work, with your savage work, with your cruel work. Take your negative or whatever it is you call it, dip it in sulfide, bromide, oxide, cowhide, anything you like. Remove the eyes, correct the mouth, adjust the face, restore the lips, reanimate the necktie and reconstruct the waistcoat. Coat it with an inch of gloss, shade it, emboss it. Emboss means cause to bulge up. Bulge, B-U-L-G-E. Cause to bulge up. B-U-L-G-E. Swell up. Gild it, cover it with gold, till even you acknowledge that it is finished, until you accept that it is done or it is finished. Then, when you have done all that, keep it for yourself and your friends. They may value it. To me, it is but a worthless bauble. Bauble means a thing of no value. Bauble is a thing of no value. I broke into tears and left. So, coming to a studio to have a photograph of the narrator turned out to be an emotional trauma, which though has been expressed in a very humorous way through the story. He animating.
Animating my face.
Animating my face means becoming very excited, having the excited features, becoming very angry.